We all have heard this line, change is the only constant. Hello everyone, my name is Shramika. I'm an engineer by profession and a seeker by passion. Now we all know that change is inevitable and change brings in ambiguity along with it. It is natural to be afraid of change and ambiguity, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Comment down below if you also feel uncomfortable with change and ambiguity as I do. Now being uncomfortable is one thing, but we can certainly learn to live with ambiguity because let's face it, there's no other option really. In this video, we'll go over how to deal with uncertainty, some tips or hacks, whatever you'd like to call them. And at the end of the video, I'll also share my personal example as to how I am currently dealing with uncertainty and ambiguity. So make sure you stick till the end. Alright, now let's start from the start. What do I mean by ambiguity? In which walk of life? Well, it can be in any compartment of life. Say at work, it could be that you are put into a new team or you're given a new set of work which you've never done before. In personal life, it could be like moving to a new city or getting into a new relationship. Basically, it means that you're not sure of 100% details of your current situation, then it's an ambiguous situation. These scenarios can cause stress and anxiety. These are natural reactions to uncertainty, but it can be overcome. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips that will help us become more adaptable and more flexible in our life, which will help us deal with ambiguity. So here we go. We have to hone the skill of taking action without knowing each and every detail of the situation. I know it is easier said than done. At work or in personal life, it is rare that we know all the details upfront. So why not just learn to live with uncertainty and make it a norm? Continuing with the first point, it is necessary that we understand that risks are necessary for growth and growth happens outside our comfort zone. Have you heard of fake it till you make it? So let's fake the confidence and take some risks bravely. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा? We will fail at it. But we'll also learn what not to do the next time, right? Failure is success if we learn from it. Let's plan for different scenarios. The first 2 points were slightly philosophical, I know that. So let's come and take some engineering point of view. We should plan for different scenarios. I know we cannot plan for every fork in the road, but we can definitely think of some. We should start by identifying a few points of uncertainty and list down all the decisions that will need to be made and how they could affect the next steps. You know, like writing an if-else code or drawing a flow chart. Does this idea resonate now? Comment down below if you are an engineer too. Oftentimes, identifying these moments and demonstrating that you can think through these web of decisions is enough to make you feel confident. Focus on getting through the first layer of ambiguity and know that you can deal with it when it comes. Communication is a fundamental part of effectively dealing with ambiguity. Have you heard of anyone being penalized for asking too many questions? Most probably the answer is no. So ask as many questions as you want to gain clarity. Remember, no question is a bad question. In our fast-paced world, it is important that we embrace change with a growth mindset. As we discussed, change can be stressful, but it can have positive impact on our lives. Change opens new doors that we would have otherwise thought impossible. In order to advance and succeed, we all need to become comfortable with the discomfort of change. So these were some quick tips for us to deal with ambiguity, uncertainty and change. These tips will most likely help us relieve the stress and anxiety that comes with uncertainty. Pick and choose the ones that work for you. Now, story time. Let me tell you how I am dealing with uncertainty and ambiguity. Now let me take the example of my flat feet. To know the history of my flat feet, do watch this detailed video I made last week. And I'm sure you're going to find it very useful as at least 2 in every 10 children have flat feet. Now, coming to my story. I knew the flat feet that I have is hindering my current health and could be a bigger hindrance as I grow older. But I didn't really know what to do about it. It was completely uncertain and ambiguous. When I sat down calmly and thought about it, I knew I had to visit a specialist. So I booked my appointment with my ortho doctor. From there, he referred me to a foot and ankle specialist because my case was kind of extreme. Enter Dr. Ajoy. I didn't even know there was a specialist just for foot and ankle. So having taken my first step, it took me to the next. Having visited Dr. Ortho, I visited Dr. Foot and Ankle Specialist. Then visiting him led to all the next steps till my surgery. So you see a pattern here? I'm only taking one step at a time. I don't even know what the fourth step from here would be like. I'm only concerned about what I can do now, what can be my next step. Now the post-surgery period was totally ambiguous for me because I was not sure how the recovery is going to be. How soon I will recover, how fast I'll be able to walk, how soon I'll be able to walk. The initial uncertainty was driving me crazy, as I mentioned in this video already. After I embraced this uncertain world, I started taking small steps towards becoming slightly normal. Set some easy and achievable goals each day. Again, taking one step at a time, one day at a time, literally. During all this, I read up a lot. I asked my doctor a lot of questions and I embraced changes as I was seeing them. This has helped me to go through this phase. In fact, this phase is not over yet, it's still ongoing. I'm still taking one day at a time. So this was it for today's video. I hope you all got a fair idea of how to deal with ambiguity in our lives. Let me know your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. If you write something in the comments, it helps stick to your memory. So do it for yourself. And if you liked this video and found it useful, then please hit that like button, as it tells YouTube that this video is helpful and it shows to others as well. Always remember, if we don't change, we don't grow. And if we don't grow, we aren't really living. I'll see you again next week. Until then, happy learning and bye.